of the On Deck Circle podcast. I am your handsome host, Nick Zaniboni, with my man, Jason, and it is my favorite time of the week because it has nothing to do with actual baseball or statistics. The cold open question of the week. Jason, I know you know the rules now, so I'm not going to explain them.
Yep.
What would your walk-up song be? Ready, set, play the music. All right, Jace, what do we got?
So this is a good question because I think almost everyone thinks about this, right? Or at least most baseball fans think about what their walk-up song is going to be. So this is kind of like a premeditated thing. I thought about this a lot. I go back and forth. There's so many great options. I can't ever pick one. So I'm going to give you two that I've thought long and hard about. One of my favorite songs of all time, so I'll probably use it, would be Wu-Tang's Cream.
Okay.
Just that melody of the piano in the background. Great walk-up. Little mellow, though. So I feel like you can start to see it's not like that way. But if you get on a hot streak, man, I got to go with Jumpman by Drake.
Okay.
Someone kind of near and dear to my heart when Dexter Fowler was with the Cubs and stuff. That was one of his walk-up songs. Okay. Started the game off at leadoff. Got the crowd going. I think it's a really good hype song.
Is it just like the chorus? I jump, man, jumping, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You got it.
All right.
And what about yours? You can't just give me mine.
I'm going with Nipsey Hussle.
Okay.
Last time that I checked, it's just like, that's like I start almost every workout with Nipsey Hussle last time that I checked. Or like, if it's like if something good happens, that's just like my boastful, I'm going to crank that in my car song. If no one knows it, go check it out because it's a jam.
I think one of the best things too is like you can tell when a player like wants to like vibe to their music. They'll like walk slowly to the plate, won't get into the box right away, right? They'll adjust their batting gloves, they'll let the music play, get that hype going. That's what I would be. I would not be like rushing up there to get into the box. I'd be like taking my time.
Yeah.
You know, vibing to the music.
Was doing I think it was Don't Worry About a Thing, because is that Three Little Birds? Yes.
Yeah.
He did that, and then everyone at Fenway would go, every little thing's gonna be all right. And then it would
see, that's a vibe. That's what you need.
Yeah, truly. All right.
Well, this week we're gonna be doing our Dynasty Baseball sleepers, or starting pitcher sleepers, I guess. Or just who we preview on the position of what, one guy we're higher on, one guy we're lower on, one prospect, kind of continuing that trend. Before we get into that, though, I want to take a quick second here. If you're looking to sign up for play fantasy baseball, whether it be redraft, dynasty, definitely need to be checking out Fantrax, especially if you're playing dynasty. They have obviously the deepest player pool that I've ever played on. And I've played on quite a few sites. So if you went ahead and go sign up there, you're going to go to fantrax.com. /fantasy 6-pack, and great leagues over there.
Jason, I have a question. Do you know what happens if, say, by any chance, there is a player that you want to draft? What happens if they're not in the pool?
You reach out to the support team, and they'll add it to you.
And they'll be in there like that.
Yes. Don't be like
rude me, Jason, because I was in the middle of a first-year player draft.
Mm-hmm.
And his name, the A's just signed a starting pitcher from Japan. Fuji is his name. His nickname is Mount Fuji. I was sitting in like the fourth round of my first year player draft. I was like, this is the round I'm going to take him. He's not in the player pool. I'm smarter than everyone. Sure enough, the next time I go on, press refresh, he's number one on the list because his projections shot up the board. But he got added in the middle of a draft, and I was so angry because some fraud who doesn't know what they're actually doing drafted him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the support team there is great at Fantrax, and don't be like me. I'm in a couple of their leagues on some other three-letter network sites. If we draft a player and he's not in the pool, we have to keep a separate spreadsheet just to maintain those. That's just awful. Don't do that. Don't be like me and make sure you have all your leagues at Fantrax.
Yeah. For sure.
All right, well, let's get into our starting pitchers this week, Nick. You're going to go first up with someone. We're going to keep going with the higher first. So let's get the good vibes out there. Go higher. Someone would, let them know who you're going to talk about today.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my namesake. I'm actually named after this guy.
There you
He's
go.
younger than me, but I am named after him. His name is Nick Lodolo, and I feel like I actually own him in 30 Rock, so I'm gonna hype him up strictly just because I don't want to trade him. He's like the one guy I'm like, I won't move Nick Lodolo. Maybe George Kirby, but not Nick Lodolo. So I'm sure you did more research than I did, and that is fine. But Nick Lodolo, I'm seeing a Dylan Cease type breakout here, or like Trevor Rogers, that 1 year Trevor Rogers was actually good type, or Corbin Burns, another like guy that like people were anticipating to have the big year. This is planting my flag on Lodolo to be like a top 10, 15 arm this season, just because of what I've seen. I think his biggest knock is that he's on the Reds.
Yeah.
And last season he was 4-7. I'm going to reference this again when we talk about the guy that I'm low on, but his K percentage was through the roof. Hold on. I did write things down.
Oh, so you got some research.
Yeah, I actually did stuff today. Huge whiff rate, 131 strikeouts, a low whip. The curve spin is tops in the league. Things that I'm looking for in a young dynamic arm. And I think his knock is he's on the Reds, and I think people are sleeping on him because he's on the Reds. What do we got? I know, and even like I think people are higher on Hunter Green just because he throws like 103. Like, we just got to recognize a good pitcher when we have a good pitcher.
Yeah, no, he, like you said, I think his biggest knock is him being on the Reds and being in that ballpark. He's going to, half his starts are going to be in the Great American Ballpark, which isn't ideal. But I mean, this guy in his first full season in the bigs, he came up, showed some flashes, a little bit of some walk concerns, but he has that strikeout ability and a dominant slider to get out of those jams. He had an 80% left on base percent last year, which I don't know how high it ranked, but that's got to be way up there. I mean, so even when he is walking those guys, he's getting out of the jam. And I feel like as the years go on, seasons go on, and continues to progress, I think he's going to be able to cut down on those walk rates. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a great pick. I do think I like Lodolo better than Green. I think, like you said, Green gets a lot of hype because of the electric arm, but to me, Green seems more like he might be destined to come out of the bullpen at some point. Yeah. Where I think Lodolo has a better pitch mix and can has a better swing and miss abilities versus Hunter Green. So I do like Lodolo over Green, not just for this year, but for the long run as well.
For sure.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and talk about one of my guys. This is,
Oh, nice one. I didn't even ask you who yours were.
I did. I forgot to tell you. Yeah, so, Joe Ryan, anytime you can get a guy coming, which doesn't happen often, but a guy that gets traded out of Tampa Bay, especially a pitching prospect, something you got to take note of. But he was a little bit of a unknown until he was traded to Minnesota. And then, last year was his first full season in Minnesota. He had 27 games, a little bit of mixed results. The strikeout numbers were a little bit down, but he did have a 3.5 ERA. He did a really good job of limiting hard contact. So, while he's not getting a ton of swing and misses, he is like getting soft contact, which is always a good selling point. And a really good end of the year here. In the month of September, he had a 2.2 ERA. He only had a 153 batting average against, and he also increased his ground ball rate. So I think a lot of sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Not only are you adjusting to the major leagues, you're adjusting to a new team, a new ballpark, a new division. I think with a whole nother full year here in Minnesota, I think we can really start to tap into that potential. Again, he's only 25-year-old still, so I think he's still got a lot to prove. A lot of times these pitchers takes them a few years in the big leagues to learn more how to pitch and just, not just to throw. But I think the world of Joe Ryan, I think he's got a lot of upside. That's would anything you want to add to that?
I'm trying to think of what I did. I traded for Joe Ryan. Then I traded Joe Ryan.
Nice.
But he is somebody that I am excited about. I think he's not going to be like a fantasy ace, but he's that depth that you need to win leagues. If he's your 2-3, you're sitting pretty. Like I traded him and like it was him, Brian Hayes, and someone else for Zach Gallen. Like Zach Gallen better than Joe Ryan.
Yes.
But Joe Ryan, also very good. So like you did say though, you always perk your ears up when the Rays trade someone.
Mm-hmm.
It's the opposite of when the Rays trade for someone, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go get him. But
Yes.
then with this, I was like, oh, I kind of like Joe Ryan. Why did they trade him?
Yeah.
So he's definitely someone that I'm watching this year, and I think he could be close to their number one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think he is scheduled to be the number one at this point.
It's him, Tyler Mahle, who we've had conversations about.
Yep.
I feel like that's their 1-2, right? Do they?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I have to look at Fangraphs, but I believe
I'm
so.
definitely looking to see how he does this season.
Yeah, again, second full season, and he only made I think he can probably get over to 30 game starts this year. So
he's close to prospect fatigue too, because I feel like we heard about him for because he was on the Rays. We're always talking about Rays prospects. So like, when's this guy coming up? When's this guy coming up? And then this guy came up, and he's been good. He's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, love it.
All right, in with the old, and now we're going to talk about some guys that are, some guys that we're a little bit down on. And before we talk about this guy, did you read my starting pitcher preview? Because this guy was a featured person in my article. So go ahead and why don't you let us know.
I did not. Wait, were you pro or against Jose Barrios?
I'm against Jose Barrios.
Oh, no. Sick. Should I just cite your article? Do you want
yeah, right. Just read it verbatim. No.
No. So I'm sure. Did you do any research in your article?
Yeah, of course.
So you went to the Baseball Savant page?
I did.
Do you know what color the Blue Jays retro jerseys are?
No. The color is blue. The color is Savant. His percentiles.
Yep. Jose Berrios. Ice. What's cooler than being cool? To quote my Outcast friends, ice cold.
Yeah. It was the page was so blue, and it wasn't the jerseys.
It was ridiculous. He's someone that just name alone is why people think he's good. Jose Berrios. He was good for the Twins.
Yep.
And then he got traded, and you were like, oh, like he'll be good. He's on a better team now. No, he's not. And what's even crazier to me is how young he still is.
Mm-hmm.
He's still like under 28, I think. Berrios, Blue Jays. Oh, this says Twins. But
28.
Like, that's crazy to me. He's like hitting that window of like 28 to 32 where you want the pitcher on your team. And he's just so bad. So I said earlier I was going to bring up a record. He won 12 games last year, but that's because he was on a good team. So if you put Nick Lodolo, who finished with 4 wins, I understand it was a smaller amount of innings. He has probably the same amount as Berrios, just on a better team. So that's where the quality starts get you, because you can still get a win, but pitch 5 innings. So him being so bad, his barrels last year were the highest of his career. He gave up so many home runs. It's just someone that I am not touching with a 10-foot pole. I have someone in one of my leagues who's just constantly offering me Jose Berrios. Like every day there's a new Berrios offer. And it's not like a funny joke offer. It's like legit.
Serious, yeah.
And then at one point, I just offered Ryan Mountcastle for him. And I was like, that's fine. That's a perfectly good trade. And then his response was, Berrios is actually good. And I was like, all right, I'm all done with you on this trade. We are done here. I think he asked for Mullins for Berrios, and I was just like, no. So you're probably gonna blow me away with statistics here, but that's
No, I don't have anything too crazy. I will ask you a couple questions though. Yeah. Do you know of all the qualified pitchers who had the highest ERA last year?
Jose Berrios.
It was Berrios.
Jose Berrios.
Yes. Of all qualified pitchers last year, do you know who had the highest WHIP?
Jose Berrios.
Jose Berrios. So, moral of the story is yes, you should be fading Jose Berrios in all, not only redraft but also dynasty as well. You got to take into consideration too that he is also facing the AL East now too, which obviously is a bit of a juggernaut. I totally agree with when you sent this pick. I was like, oh, so funny because I was fading Berrios in my before the season too and in my article. So definitely, I agree 100% with your guys' fade.
Teamwork.
I thought maybe you took a little snippet from my article.
No, I haven't read it.
No worries. I won't hold it against you.
I'll go ahead and retweet that for you.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. All right, we're going to talk about my guy here. This one might become a little bit of a surprise, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about Michael Kopech, that one young, promising hurdler. Maybe even near to your heart as an ex Bo Sox prospect.
He's still handsome. He's a good-looking dude. He's like 80 grade looks.
Maybe he can sign up for The Bachelor or something. Although I think he might be married. I'm not sure.
I don't think. I feel like there might be a story there.
We'll leave it for the other podcast, the After Hour podcast. All right, yeah, but after a really good 2021 season, he had a bit of a down season in 2022. I get it. He was injured. He had a knee problem. He did get that corrected, but I think a lot of the outliers here are just too alarming to be just based off of a knee injury. Like, don't get me wrong, the velocity was down, which could have been obviously stemming from the injury, but we saw strikeout numbers fall off a cliff. I mean, they went down almost 15% from 2021 to 2022. He's not getting hitters to chase anymore. The chase rate ranks in the bottom 20th percent of the league. It gives up a ton of hard contact. The batting average against is not ideal, what you want from a guy of this stature. You want him to be getting swings and misses. And limiting the hard contact, he's doing the exact opposite of that. Again, I know he had the knee injury, so you can't really take too much into consideration of 2022 numbers, but I still think if you just look at the numbers over the last 3 years, it's just kind of declining over the years. So, I mean, for those reasons alone, I'm just going to be fading Kopech. And I'm not out on him, but I'm not going to be giving up top dollar prospects or, assets to acquire Michael Kopech. I'm lower on him than most other people, I think.
Kopech or Green?
Green.
Smart man.
I think just because we still have to see what Green can prove, I think the arrow's pointing up for Green, where Kopech, it might be, again, he could come back, start throwing darts again in spring training, be throwing 98 again, and then all of a sudden I'm back in on him. But for right now, I think I'm not out on him, but I'm definitely lower than I think consensus on.
Is he too pretty?
Maybe it's the flow. Maybe the flow. He did cut his hair, actually.
Okay. Hey, that's a start.
That may have been the reason why he's down. Maybe not the knee injury. Right. He cut it last year.
To just delete the last 90 seconds to 120 seconds of this podcast, because we are now in on Michael Kopech if he cut his hair.
If he cut his hair and still has the jawline with the 5 o'clock shadow. This went from on deck circle to Bachelor talk real quick.
I'm in. Let's see if he has an Instagram. He was dating one of the girls from Laguna Beach, I think.
See, that's all I need to know. So for those reasons alone, Nick's back in on Michael Kopech.
All right, this might just be a fan page. Wait, Michael Kopech has a kid. Oh, it's the
more reasons to fade him.
As a dad,
no sleep.
He is married.
See?
Oh, she's cute.
And now the kid's going to keep him up all night, and then that K percentage is going to continue to fall off a cliff.
Or does he have dad strength? There's a lot of variables here.
But for the biggest takeaway is to fade Michael Kopech going into the season.
Oh, my God. He really looks like a Slim Shady here.
Well, see? He cut his hair.
Yeah, he looks like Jonah Hill in 21 Jump Street.
That's probably the reason why his K rate's down, is all that he lost his flow, his salad.
Dave would be so angry if we went on this tangent. He'd be sitting there just like hitting a calculator, being like, "What's this VORP mean? Get out of here!"
All right, that's enough Kopech talk. Let's get into our prospects this week. We're going to talk about starting pitcher prospects. So you sent me who your guys were, and I was actually kind of shocked. For 2 reasons. One, we have another 2022 first-year player draft player. But 2, not much I knew about. So
yeah,
why don't you give us a little bit of tidbits on them?
Are you also surprised I didn't just go with Brian Bayo?
No, I thought it was going to be a homer pick, but
usually I try and do homer picks for the prospects just because that's who I know most about. But since I am fresh off a first-year player draft, I also have all of this knowledge. I use knowledge in quotes there.
Okay.
But We're going with Hunter Barco. Do you know anything other than like when I said his name? Did you know who he was or no?
I did.
With Hunter Barco, high end guy. Like he was Florida's 1 or 2. Like they're like Friday night starter, which is like the big deal there.
Yep.
Got Tommy John. So then just like got eliminated from draft boards. Prior to the season, like top 20 pick. Like if you look at like the like mocks, I know baseball mocks are tough because like signing bonuses and all that. It's kind of just like based the mocks are very much talent based. So we're talking like top 25 talent. And he went in round 40, whatever you just said. He has 3 pitches, all plus, all like good pitches, fastball, slider, change. Like those are like 3 pitches that are beautiful to have. And you can easily add like a splitter to that. You can add something else to that. And my only issue is he got drafted to the Pirates. I'm very anti-Pirates. They're idiots. They're dumb. But he's 69 strikeouts to 11 walks before he got injured. He got Tommy John in like May. So we're not really going to see him this year. We might see him towards the end of the year. But he's definitely someone that I would the dart throw at the end of the draft. Instead of drafting the 16-year-old from Venezuela, draft Hunter Barco, who could have been a top 15 pick if he didn't get hurt. So he's someone that I'm kind of just like hitching my wagon to. It's going to be one of those where in trade discussions, someone's going to be like, just give me like something like, give me Hunter Barco. And I'm going to be like, no, he is mine until his value is high. And then I'll trade him because there's no such thing as a pitching prospect, Jason.
Exactly.
I was just going to submit nothing. I was going to say, no, I'm not going to give you a pitching
or just submit that like acronym for it, whatever that big long acronym is. TINSAP or whatever. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pumped about him. And I hope someone listening here or even you, Jason, just throws a dart at Hunter Barco and it works out. And then I can be like, I'm the Hunter Barco guy.
Okay. So a couple questions. Since he is first-year player draft eligible, did you have him in any of your first-year player drafts?
I did.
Okay. Now, we both play in 30 Rock, which is a 5-round, 30-team first-year player draft. Yep. What is the over/under on? Do you think of his pick and when he gets picked? Because he will get picked. I mean, you're talking 150 guys.
Can I come back to you on that? I want to see what pick I actually.
Oh, you don't want to. Oh, in your previous one,
in my current draft that I just had.
Okay, because he will definitely be drafted in 30 Rock.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially because I'm in it.
Well, because a lot of times some first-year player drafts only go like 3 rounds deep and stuff, so it depends. Like if it's a more shallower league, he probably won't get picked. But obviously, in our deeper leagues and our 15-teamers and above,
Jose Churros. I had such a good draft.
This guy's out here hunting his first-year player draft results.
All right. I picked him in the last round.
Which is 5th round?
24 teams.
Oh, round. Wow. Yeah. Okay, so he is kind of flying under the radar, even in first-year player drafts.
And it's like Kundal's in there. Like there's like some real players in there. Oh, what a fucking draft.
And I think sometimes guys like this, like you said, they get the injury. They get almost forgotten not only by MLB teams kind of push him off the side, but sort of the prospect hounds. So I think this is definitely a good call out. He could be probably picked up in a waiver wire after the first year.
Yeah, I mean, or he's just going to be a jabroni, and all you did was waste a 5th round on him. Like, what are you going to do?
And roster him for a couple of years and dump him.
Yeah,
or you be the guy that includes him in a draft. Like, hey, I'll throw you Hunter Barco.
Like, and then I'll send a link to his Florida numbers. I'm just kidding. I'm not that guy. I am totally that guy. All right. Enlighten me on someone to. Oh, do you remember how last week I offered a trade for that catcher?
Oh, yeah. Near Diaz. Yeah.
Yep. I got no answer. It's still sitting.
Okay. Well, hey, come back next week and we'll know next week. Maybe. Yeah.
I'm just going to offer a trade for the pitcher that you're going to say.
All right. Well, like you had kind of
every week until I get someone.
Yeah. There we go. It'll be a nice opening to the show. I'm going to go with you. Someone's a little bit more, I guess lesser known, but not quite as deep.
No, get He's like a top 60 prospect, Jason.
Hey, to us prospect hounds, but most people will not know because he's such a small sample. So he was a first year, he was drafted in 2020, didn't pitch in 2020, had a very small sample in 2021. I think the Cardinals were kind of just taking it easy with him. They wanted to bring him along, and then just even in 2022, I think he made 9 starts or something like that. He's only got 52 innings. Sorry, 60 innings combined in the last 2 years as a professional. So 17 starts total. But I mean, this is Tink Hence we're talking about. He's got a super electric fastball, big strikeout capabilities. He's had a K rate above 35% at both levels and over 40% in 2022 at single A. Again, he's only appeared in complex league and single A, so against a real small sample, against inferior opposition. So it's still out to be determined, but I think this guy's upside is huge. Like you said, he is becoming more known, catapulting up some of these prospect lists, I guess. But again, TIN-SNAP, whatever the acronym is. Yeah, I mean, he's got a huge arm, mid to upper 90s, fastball, really solid curveball. He established a changeup recently too that could end up being a huge put-away pitch for him. The eyes are all on Tink Hence in 2023. Still only 20 years old. He's got a ton of ability to continue to grow and develop and get even better. Like you said, he's top 60 probably amongst pitching prospects. I don't think he's top 60.
I think he is.
It's possible. He's definitely getting a lot of notoriety. So
that towards the end of last year is when helium
took off. Yeah.
And now he's so good. He just got traded in my league, so I'm not gonna get him. He got traded for James Outman. I'm not a big Dodgers prospects are so volatile.
Yeah, I agree.
Buy into them because it's the Dodgers.
Yep.
But then you have Gavin Lux, and then you even who's the best player they've developed recently? Because Bellinger's not good.
No. Hey, he's a Cub now. He's good.
Yeah, he's already there working out with Nicky Madrigal.
Yeah. But no, I think they do get a lot of hype. And even guys I'm trying to think, like I said, Gavin Lux was always their top prospect. Came up as kind of not been bad, but not lived up to the expectations.
I guess would count.
Yeah.
Oh,
but the problem too is you're trading a pitching prospect for an outfield prospect.
No,
there's a little bit of variance there, but
I'm all about Tink Hence. He's just oozes swag too.
I had to throw him in there. Like I said, I know he's catapulting up some prospect lists, but I think prior to this season, like the end of last year, the deep league guys like us, kind of knew about him. No. If you're playing in a shallower league, for sure. But yeah, I know, like I said, a super electric arm. He's only made 17 starts, so obviously he's gonna start back at low A again, maybe high A for 2023. And if he shows that he's outperforming, he can definitely move up to at least double A this year, if not more. So definitely keep an eye out for Tink Hence.
Yeah, what do we got for next week? What position?
Let's go around the horn, right? First base.
Have we not done first yet? Yeah.
No.
All right. This is helpful because I'm gonna actually give you something right now.
Is this homework?
No. Oh. I'm gonna give you a hint, not a hint. So my spreadsheet. So for the listeners listening, I am in NERF this year, which is rotisserie, which we all know. I don't know what the hell it means.
Well, wait. Explain NERF.
It's like New England Fantasy
Roto Fantasy
League.
Yeah,
a bunch of people in it. Don't know why I'm in it, if we're being completely honest. But I'm making a spreadsheet. So I'm gonna give the listeners a sneak peek of just my catcher rankings. Okay.
Open up. Let's pick Nick's brain here.
All right. Number 1, JT Real Muto. And then next to each person, I have a why and a why not. Why?
Oh.
Steady. Why not? There's no reason. And then so on. Then Will Smith, then Adley Rutschman, then Varsho. I'm just going to go down to my 14th through 20th.
Oh, God.
This is Travis d'Arnaud.
Wait, is NERF a two-catcher league? Is NERF a two-catcher league?
I don't know.
I love that you're prepared for this draft.
So the reason why, he's alive.
He's going to get at-bats.
My first baseman, who is ranked 20th for me, and the reason is alive, is Seth Brown. Very anti-Seth Brown. Why are people into him?
I like him. Hey, he's good, but if he was on like Milwaukee or like somewhere that was relevant and not Oakland, he would be like a top 200 player for sure.
Yeah. My issue is one of my tiers is yellow, and with the white writing, it's tough to see the name. So I need to come up with something there.
Whoa, put that away, man! You're leaking some information to the opposition.
I'm gonna need some help. I'm gonna share this doc with you, and maybe you can like just add like.
I'm gonna add notes to the why or why not.
Just like low power.
Yeah.
OBP is one of these. There was one. Wait, who is this? This might be the worst thing I could say.
So you could add the Kopech, like, why not? One of them could be like dad strength.
Yeah. So my Josh Bell, he is ranked. I have him 10th, I think, for first base. Reason why? OBP. Why not? Meh at everything else.
Hey, he could be a sneaky pick this year with the moving to Cleveland.
I really like him. I'm actually working on something with Roach for him, but Roach's team's so good in 30 Rock.
I know. He's been getting a lot of heat about it today too. So
I know. And I feel I think I might just do it. Like, I don't care. It's just for fucking fun. I just hold on. I have a trade that was offered to me. Well, this is live, people.
Live in person. Dynasty trade. Is this 430 Rock?
Yeah, I'm saying no. It's Josh Bell.
Okay.
Vaughn Brown, who is someone that I highlighted last season that I was correct about for Reed Detmers.
Oh, yeah, I gave you Reed Detmers last year.
You did for Kalenic?
Yeah, I believe it was a 1-for-1, yeah.
All right, so we're going to go here. We're going to counter proposal. This is great for everybody.
I'll say this is great podcasting.
All right, we're taking him out. We're going Gene Segura because I need some offense. I need some people to fill in actual positions.
Yeah. There's very strict mins in place in 30 Rock, so a lot of forfeiting draft pick spots, stuff like that.
One other person. Oh, yep. I know. You're gonna fucking love this guy. I'm gonna add something else. Wisniewski.
Oh, Wisniewski, yeah.
He's good, right? Like I feel like he could be Reed Detmers in general. Like he's not.
Yeah, well, with Kyle Hendricks, not ready for opening day, there's a good chance that he even starts with the big league club on opening day. So
okay. All right. I offered that. I'm gonna send Santon there back too because he's.
Let us know. Let us know next week about both pending trades.
I'm not getting Tink Hence.
No.
Oh, the other one. I'm just
no one's selling Tink Hence. No one's selling a huge upside 20-year-old pitching prospect.
I'll trade Marcelo Mayer for him right now. I won't. All right. See you later.
All right, buddy. See ya.